Hi, this is Shane from NerdHouseGeeks. Today's topic is more advice for junior developers on how to stay at the top of your game. The downside to just starting out in the industry or new to the industry is that I bet whatever school you went to, they tried to shove it into your head about programming concept, object-oriented programming, design patterns, and that's good stuff. From my experience though, and I've done no official research, but every single company I've worked at except for one company, the world's small businesses that could hire developers is run on spaghetti code. Like, spaghetti code is the nation's code. Now, these programming concepts are fantastic. I don't know how many people teach you how to follow spaghetti code, because most of the time you're going to have to deal with spaghetti code, whatever that means for individuals. All right, and it's not a bad thing. It's just when all this inventive energy started and executives knew that this would work. Venture capitalists like, hey, we need a site that does this. You know, people just started making it happen, and over the advent of all these years, developers have not eliminated all the spaghetti code in the world. There's tons of it out there making millions and billions of dollars. So it just can't be dumped. So debugging is very important in getting to the top of your game. Another thing that will get you to the top of your game, and let's talk about debugging for a while. I'm a C#.NET developer mostly, but I'm a strong advocate for Visual Studio. If it can be done in Visual Studio, I am happy. It's an environment I'm comfortable with that and Visual Code, but mostly Visual Studio. I mean, if I'm writing Angular, I try to make sure I can do it in Visual Studio. I just love what the tool allows me to do, and I'm comfortable in it, but it's not the only tool out there. Just whatever your comfort zone is. But knowing how to debug spaghetti code is super important to your success on the job. They don't have a spaghetti code class, but I've seen it be a challenge for dudes coming out and a lot of complaining about the code. So I think hearing that, listen, most of the code is spaghetti code, and keeping it functioning while you replace it incrementally is probably more realistic what's going to be going on. I just wanted to say that. Now, to stay on the top of your game, well, to become the top dog, the most important thing is figuring out what it takes to get the product done. I've spoken about this in another video, but your programming skills are not lacking when you come to a new business. You approach it with the right mentality. I need to know what it takes to get this product done. And as you work on several different products from multiple companies, like a lot of us have, you get kind of this gist naturally that it's not your coding skills that are lacking, it's understanding what the product is and what it requires to get done, and communication is key to that. No senior level developer can just spit out everything you need to know. It's kind of a ask as you go along type of deal. So be ambitious about learning how to complete or fixed task in a product, because there's so many variation of what companies sell. You know, some companies need software just to run in-house. Some product is the software, so it's just figure it out ASAP, and that will get you quickly to the top. So debugging, figuring out what the product needs, those are two important points in my book. That's to get the job done. The absolute most important way to become the top dog on the job is taking on an attitude that you are in a state of continuous learning. There are several sites out there that are online learning resources. They're phenomenal. I think it's absolutely crucial that you invest your money in you. Start investing some of this money you're getting paid into you, regardless of what the job is. And when it's like you are in a constant state of research and development. You research stuff and you develop it on your home computer. You should always be building the next Microsoft on your computer. You should definitely have a project that allows you to talk to all the databases. You know, you should definitely be learning how an entire system works over and over again. Angular, React, you if you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life, get into it. 10 minutes is not a lot of your time. I try to tell people all the time, like, just put 10 minutes of a day into your craft. You'll get smarter. One of my favorite resources is Pluralsight. I'll be doing some reviews on some of the Pluralsight stuff, things that I think are pretty awesome, because I'm always learning. And so you are unfortunately chose an industry that doesn't stop growing, doesn't stop changing, and is very judgmental if you don't have the right terminology when you speak. And you talk about an industry that it's unforgiving. I mean, there was a time when people tried to make Silverlight a big conversation. It's not any longer. Well, that's how your career will be treated if you stop learning. It doesn't care that the knowledge you have has been expired, or in some cases have new terminology for the exact same thing. Ah, boy. The same common sense you needed to work with web services was the same type of common sense you needed to know with WPF. Same thing with RESTful. You know, things may change, and they did, but the learning curve isn't as steep if you started in any one of those arenas. You just like, oh, there's the difference. This is okay. I get the contract. That's gone away. Now we're back to hey. Okay. So stay engaged. Whatever your thing is. I'm a visual learning type of person. If books work for you, you stay buying books, but reinvest in yourself. Take learning something every week serious. It is amazing how impressive you become when and how comfortable you are, how your confidence grows when you are on top of things. When I was a young developer, I worked with this guy named Alan, and Alan was this IT director, and I was still in school but working, and he turned me on to these DVDs, and if it wasn't for Alan, I don't even know if I would be this good at learning programming, but continuing on being self-taught. Like once you know, then you start teaching yourself. If it wasn't for Alan, I'd be stuck at this one level. And because I was able to get those DVDs and learn them on my own, I just kept on advancing and advancing and advancing to the point where I would be sitting down while people were explaining concepts to me I already understood, and I'd just be like, But I would just sit there because, I'm always learning. So as people started repeating things I already knew, I was like, I was listening to you all this whole time, but you didn't really give me any new information. So I went, okay, I'll be okay at this company. My kudos to Alan, man. You turned me on to all this code, this self-taught stuff. And then once I became aware of Pluralsight, Linda, Udemy, there's tons of these things. Whatever is your brand, go for it. I'll start reviewing some of these stuff, what my recommendations will be. And I jump back and forward because I'm comfortable with certain guys, and some guys are just too technical. I know that's weird, but but stay studying, stay confident, stay aggressive, and stay pursuing the challenges. You really want to have your hands up for whatever they're calling the big fish. It's best to get your ass kicked and get fired for trying it. Well, you don't want to get fired, but there's nothing that people feed off your positive energy. And I'm going to give you one example. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is just a shame moment now. All right, so I was working at this company, and this is an example of just being aggressive, but being aggressive in a way where people feel comfortable. So I'm working for this company, and this company's, they're like a retail company, and Black Friday is really like their thing. And I started off with this really awesome team, but time in business, the team dwindled away, but my responsibilities started to increase. So I'm working at this company, and we had this very important meeting because another team was taking care of our shopping cart needs. And I was like, okay, well, if you need me, let me know, right? So this meeting comes in, and it was like, guys, we need 2 weeks 2 weeks to get all this stuff done for the shopping cart for Black Friday. And I'm sitting there going like, wait a minute, I thought Team A, we'll call them Team A, I thought Team A was already taking care of all that. And so my boss at the time, or the director guy, his name is Doug, he says, listen, that doesn't matter, we need to be done in 2 weeks, or basically we all lose our jobs. Now, I don't know how true that was, but I wasn't taking any chances. So this room is full of all kinds of developers, and I go, okay, hold on. I didn't know we would be in this situation. Let me go get my pen and pad. So I go and get my pen and pad, and I'm like, all right, everybody. Okay, first of all, what all do we need done? Bring it on. Bring it on. So I'm saying this with absolute supreme confidence. So they start going through the list, and I'm just like, okay, all right, that. And they're listing all these different items, like item 1, item 2, item 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these all need to be done in 2 weeks. And so the boss kind of looked at me and said, what do you think? I'm like, first of all, you're in a real good position. A, you're lucky that I'm here. 2, that guy over there, his name is Mark, who is another senior level developer. You're lucky he's here, but to a lesser extent. That's a joke we have between each other. If Mark ever watched this video, you have to be there. But I was like, you're lucky that I'm here, okay? Because I'm going to get us through all of this, all right? So I can finish this, and I think I can finish that tonight. And he was like, well, you know, it's almost 5 o'clock. No. Tonight, like 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And it was like, okay. So what I'm going to do, you guys have any meetings, but I told them, for me to finish this in 2 weeks, you cannot invent other colorful things between here and the 2 weeks. Of course, no executives listen to this. They're always inventing stuff along the way. But I think my energy about it all had one of our executives was like, you make me feel comfortable. And that's what I mean by that energy of making people feel like, I got it. Bring it on. I'll take it on. And you just get focused and you knock that bad boy out. And that was the end of my example. But just in case if you wanted to know how that ended, me and my coworker did it. It was definitely a team effort. There was no way I could do that all by myself. But I kind of knew how important Mark was to the equation. I was like, yeah, Mark, we're going to teach you to do your magic. I'll handle the rest. And even though we had a lot of developers there, it was just amazing to have it both on our shoulders. And I was like, Doug, we're going to be having daily meetings until this thing is done. And at first, I think there was no there was like, I don't know if he could get it done in that amount of time. But when you speak so boldly and then your name is on it, man, that's a whole different beast, because you're like, nah, I won't let you down. So I'm grinding through all this work over and over and over again. We would meet, I'd be like, done, ready for testing. What's next? Done, next. Done, next. Hey Shane, you think you can do this? I was like, I said we can't invent anything. It's not like I don't have enough pressure as it is now. But yes, we can do it. But please don't invent anything else. And boom, hey Shane, you think you're gonna add this at the end? I'm like, oh. Well, are you kidding me? Hey Mark, can we do that? Yeah, darn it. Yeah, we can. But please don't invent anything. I don't care how hard you work, how much level of perfection you try to achieve, you will be making changes up until the last second in a production push. You would even push something to production and have to make changes afterwards. So relax, buddy. Try to get it as perfect as you can. But IT seems boring to learn, but once you get into it, you're in the middle of all the snow, man. It's fun. It's really fun. But to junior developers, learn to debug, okay? Learn to debug. Be confident. Never stop learning. And take on these challenges enthusiastically. The energy is just amazing. And IT is definitely, what have you done for me lately? Because when you have a great performance, that gets you like a gift card, and it's on to the next adventure, man. And nobody got time to be praising you for last week's work. You know. So thanks to all you guys who have put challenges out there. Thank you very much, Alan, for turning me on to this self-taught online learning. I'm glad I'm not buying all those DVDs, and now I spend hundreds of dollars, $1,000 a year or more, maybe like $500 or $600 or so each year, 30, 40, because I subscribe to multiple sites. The reason I subscribe is because a lot of stuff I can learn on YouTube, but I'm not as committed to learning when it's coming out of my check. And don't feel so bad. You get to claim all of that on your taxes. That's not what this is about, but anyway, that's what, darn it. 19 minutes and 51. This is supposed to be a 5-minute video. I run my mouth too much. Listen, subscribe to my channel. like my video. Thank you very much.